give me the report card on how ACL is doing. I mean, you've had very big issues this year.
Oh, we have, yeah. We have.
Is this your annus horribilis or?
I got to say, one of the things when people say, why aren't you doing other issues? I just think, I can't do any more. Like, I just can't do any more. I'm a mere mortal. And that's the way this year has been. It's been full on. It's been just incredible. And I have a very strong sense at the end of the first 18 months of my tenure in this role that the Lord has brought things our way. You know, people said, oh, well, you know, Martin got in on the Israel Folau thing to boost his profile and it was all calculated. Rubbish. I mean, firstly, I'd have to have, you know, rocks in my head to think that that's an opportunity to build profile, because actually it was just a spectacular risk, very, very difficult issue to confront, very, very challenging times in the media. You know, you're a new kid on the block. They just want to, you know, get you to stumble and fall, and when you do in a position like mine, it's very challenging, you know. So it was a huge challenge, actually, and the only reason that happened was because the phone rang and the opportunity was given, and we thought, well, yeah, this is a good thing to do, this is the right thing to do, so we did it. And that has been the recurring story of the last 18 months, and I sense that, you know, God has pulled us into this and pulled us into that, and the net result of all of that has been positive. The Folau issue has changed the conversation in politics on religious freedom. It has just radically changed it. And I believe in religious freedom because I believe that the gospel needs to be free. As Paul says, pray that the godly life would be a life of peace, because God desires all people to come to a knowledge of the truth. If the godly life and all the things that entails, proclaiming the truth, preaching, being part of church, doing good works, running Christian ministries as we've been describing, if that life is let to run free, then the truth spreads into the community, and that's what Christians are all about. And so religious freedom is the heart of what we're trying to do, for a good reason, because I believe that it represents something at the heart of Christianity and what Christ has called us to. And so to have the Israel Folau case just blow open the doors in federal parliament on religious freedom, and to have them actively talking about legislating protections for these kinds of situations is a tremendous move forward. And that's been just a great blessing. But also, of course, the publicity's been good in God's providence, and the support from people has been good. And, you know, as a report card on where ACL is at as an organisation, we find ourselves in a strong position and able to. We're actually going through a phase at the moment where we're sitting back and saying, all right, well, what does the future look like? And we are looking at, well, what kinds of campaigns can we run? Or what other Christian ministries and groups can we help? And also, what does it look like for us to give Christians in Australia an opportunity to put feet to their faith in the political world and to stand up for what they believe in their community? And one of the enduring concerns I have is that how ready are we as Christians to lose and keep the faith? When it comes to something like abortion, you know, we had a Stand for Life rally in Martin Place, and as I was about to get up to speak, I thought, well, this is being live streamed on Channel 7 through their online platforms. These speakers are jolly loud. You know, a lot of people are hearing this. I thought, well, you know what? We may not change the mind of this Parliament. And there's, you know, at the moment, just to prepare everybody, we may not. But I thought, what an amazing thing that you have thousands upon thousands of people here witnessing to the truth on this issue. And that's why I read the Bible, because the scriptures contain God's power, and the fruit of that is out of my hands. And that's why I sought to bring a gospel narrative into what I was saying. And I sit there and go, what is success? I actually think that success is seen in the faith of the saints in Hebrews 11, who, you know, because of their hope in a better country, because of their unshakable conviction of things they hadn't seen but had been promised from God, they endured and they did wonderful things. But you know what? Half of the guys referred to in that section died, you know. Like, they, from our modern point of view, they had miserable lives, but they didn't. Actually, what they did, I think if you said to them, would you have had it any other way? They would have said, absolutely not. Why? Because they served God, and because they endured by faith, and because they were testimonies to that which God had placed on their hearts and in their lives, and they served him come what may, and he used them in their time. And victory wasn't necessarily theirs in some ways, but in all the ways that mattered for the long term, victory was theirs. They're in the Hall of Fame. And I think that by testifying to truth, by being light as much as we can, even if that piece of legislation isn't changed, there's fruit that God can bring out of the testimony of his people in these times. We are so culturally imbued with the notion that life should be good, and that if we just work hard, get the right results at uni, push forward in our careers and put our head down, we'll get there. We will get there. What's there? Well, big house and family and comforts and all the rest of it. Well, what if the day comes where you have to make a decision for God that costs all of that? And this is why I have such respect for Israel Folau, by the way, because what he did was born out of his own sincere conviction that he had to serve God first. And I think, well, that's remarkable, because it cost him so much. When it becomes comfort or Christ, are we ready? Are we ready to make that call? Are we ready for it? I pray that we are. But it's so hard dealing with political realities where you have actual parties, none of them are right, and you've got, it's difficult. And I've been able to appoint a chief political officer whose job is politics, and it's kind of made me a little less affiliated with the mucky aspect of politics, and I feel I need to be freed up to be a clear voice that is not political, but a voice that is Christian. I really meant what I said earlier too, which is that I just don't believe in doing what we're doing for the sake of politics. I really don't. The ultimate goal of what we're doing is to exalt the truth and to point people back to why we're doing what we're doing.